Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Welcome to episode 2 of My Head in the Cloud. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing. Well, I really shouldn't call it that. I've had it for a few months now, but I'll put it back in the box and take it out. Anyway, we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Nexus 7 2013 edition. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so here we go, the Nexus 7 2013 edition. I've already had this opened up, but I thought you guys might want to see. Anyway, it just came in this nice bright blue box. This time they changed it up. Last year's both Nexus 4 and Nexus 7. Well, here's the Nexus 4. Actually came in boxes like this. This gray with blue font, which was just like when Ice Cream Sandwich and Jelly Bean had the blue font and such, so it kind of matched that. And so then now they went with this new theme this year where they're using bright blue on stuff. In fact, not only does it show up on the Nexus 7 box, but the Nexus 5 box that you saw in the last video came with it, and even the Google Chromecast has the blue on here, the blue and the white. So just a little bit of theme they've been doing there. But anyway, there's the box. The front, again, does the thing where you can see it makes a 7 here. So anyway, you slide that out. Got the Google logo. Not much else. And the tablets right there originally came in some plastic wrap. Take that out. The Nexus 7, big Nexus logo on the back there, big camera. A little bit of a pull tab here. And there we go. We've got the, I have the LTE version, so there's my SIM ejector tool, and it's telling me how to eject the SIM card, charge it up, all that basic stuff you get. The warranty and safety manuals, the micro USB cable, and the plug. So anyway, very simple, just like before. No headphones, no nothing really in here but instructions and the charger. So anyway, that is the box. All right, guys. So here it is, the Nexus 7 2013 edition. Just like I did with the Nexus 5 review, and I'll try to keep doing, I'm going to try to break this up into sections. So we'll start with design. First thing you feel when you pick up this tablet is this soft back, just like I did on the Nexus 5. It's a great material, feels great in the hand, and yeah, I just absolutely love this stuff. Going on from the back here, we can see that you've got one speaker grill here and two more here on either side of the micro USB port. Now, this actually has, I believe it's pronounced Fraunhofer or something in that ballpark, but it's got a sort of virtual stereo surround sound. It's kind of cool. We've got a video online showing it off a little bit. I'll probably link that in the description, but nice little speakers there for watching movies. They're really handy where they put them because being split here and here, if you actually hold the device like this while you're watching a movie, your hands will actually almost make a cone here for the sound to be redirected back at you. So although they're on the back when I'm watching a movie like this, I usually can hear pretty well. So going on from the speakers, we've got the micro USB port here on the bottom. We've got the headphone microphone jack combo on the top there. You've got the camera, 5 megapixel rear camera. You've got the lock switch, power switch button, volume rocker, one of the microphones there. And as a little bit of an additional port, I have the LTE version. So this is the SIM card slot right here. As far as that goes, that's about it for the back. The front is one large piece of Corning Gorilla Glass. I believe it's Gorilla Glass 2. You've got the front-facing camera and the light sensor. You've also got down here the LED notification light. So yeah, it weighs 0.64 pounds or 290 grams. To put that in perspective, that's over double the weight of the Nexus 5, but still not that heavy. A fairly light tablet, very easy to hold in your hands for a long period of time. I use Pulse a lot on here, so I'm usually able to hold it quite easily in one hand and flick through articles for quite a while. My hand doesn't seem to get too tired, so good weight on it. Within that weight, when we get to the specs section, we'll talk about some of the specs that it packs in here. The big thing is it does have a large battery, which makes it great for movies and such. But before I get too far into the specs here, as far as design goes, it's got a big, beautiful screen on here. It's a 1080p screen. Looks gorgeous. I've actually left the brightness on full on this screen. I usually don't do that on devices, but this screen is very, very good looking, and I like to do that. And then it's got a big enough battery that it can support that. So with this 7-inch screen, you will notice that it does have fairly large bezels at both the top and the bottom. They actually thinned down these side bezels here on either side from the previous Nexus 7 model, but the top and bottom are still rather large. It adds a little bit of length to the device that isn't really necessary, I guess. I obviously don't know how the insides are actually put together, but would be nice to see if they were to stretch from edge to edge here, we could probably get a few more inches of screen real estate, and you wouldn't just have these huge chunks of nothing but black bezel down there. And also makes the screen look a little bit smaller because as this is still running Jelly Bean, and we're not sure if the translucent or transparent bars from the top and bottom will come from the Nexus 5 or not with the KitKat update. The screen does seem to be a little bit smaller until you do go into video where you can actually see it'll reach from side to side here. But that's about it for design. It's a great tablet. It's really comfortable to hold in the hands. Watching movies, it's extremely comfortable. It's light enough that carrying it around in a backpack or anything is not a problem at all. And it's got, as I said before, Gorilla Glass, so the screen is nice and tough. I don't put any protectors on it or anything, and it's done an extremely good job of not getting any scratches or scuffs. Other than that, you can see from the back here that it has just like the Nexus 5, it's a very round body on this. The edges are all curved around. It's got the bezel going on here where you can see the edges taper down this way again. And yeah, that about wraps it up for design. So going on to the next section, we will talk about the specs. I will just go over the base ones again. If you want to see the full list, I'll put the link in the description. You can check them out on the Google Play Store. Basically, the first spec that they talk about is the display itself. As I said, it's a beautiful display, just like on the Nexus 5. This is a 1080p display. Comes in at 1920 by 1200. It gives it a pixel density of 323 pixels per inch, which is a great density, very clear viewing. Icons are very sharp. There's no pixelated edges. It's just a great display. I've really noticed a difference from the original Nexus 7 to this one. Even low quality videos, when I copy my movies over to my computer for digital, a lot of times I'll go from 1080p down to 720, or if they're standard DVDs, not Blu-ray, they're in lower quality, and even then they look slightly better on here than they did before. You just get that little bit sharper picture, a little bit more pixels per inch. Just beautiful display on here. Powering this display is a Snapdragon S4 Pro, the same processor that was found in the Nexus 4. I believe on the last review I actually think I misquoted saying the Nexus 4 had a Snapdragon 600. I actually had the S4 Pro, so the same processor they used in the Nexus 4. About 6 months later, they put in this new Nexus 7. It's a great processor, very powerful. You can see it's very responsive here. Opens the app drawer, no problem, goes back, switches from app to app quite easily here. So plenty of power behind that processor there. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, which is plenty. I think if you ever look at any time, I'm barely tapping into that, and I've got a lot of Google services and apps running in the background here. We'll go in here, we'll go to running. You can see at the bottom here, I'm only using 612, so I'm using about a fourth of my available RAM, so it's not that bad at all. So anyway, that's the processor, the RAM, the display. Other than that, it comes in weighing 290 grams, as I said before, so it's fairly light. There is the 16 gigabyte storage, 32 gigabyte storage. Those are the two variants you have, just like the Nexus 5. I got the 32 gigabyte with LTE built into it. So 16 gigabytes only going to cost you about $229, which is arguably the best tablet on the market for what it does. I'll get into that more later when I get to the wrap-up. Other than that, it's got the Adreno 320 at 400 megahertz for a GPU. Makes gaming on this thing pretty fun. If I launch up Zombie Gunship here, we'll just load this up real quick. You can see games are very smooth on here. We can switch weapons in this game, anything, whatever. Very, very good for gaming. I've had a lot of fun on this tablet. Great size screen, feels great in the hands. Your hands don't get tired because it's a fairly light tablet. You can see right there, closes the app, no problem, very quick. I can jump right back into it without even missing a beat. As I said before, it has a 3,950 milliamp hour battery, tons of battery life. Let's see this charge. I don't know if I fully charged last time. Yeah, I didn't get a full charge on this last time, so it didn't reset the meter here, but I've had this thing running for very long times, playing movies, watching YouTube videos, just doing everything. It's sometimes over mobile data, and it still just seems to last and last and last. Just has no problem, so I really like that. It's got wireless charging built in, so if you get a Qi compatible charger, you can just set the pad on there and it will charge. It is slim port enabled, so if you get the slim port adapter, you can have HDMI out through the micro USB port. So that's kind of cool. If you want to hook this thing up to a TV and play your games on the big screen and just use this as the remote, you can do that. Other than that, it's got the 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, the 5 megapixel rear-facing camera, and that's about it. Other specs you can look up on that spec sheet if you'd like to, but that about wraps it up for tech specs on this one. Alright, so now that we've talked about the specs and the design, I'm just going to give my personal input on the tablet. I've absolutely loved it. I have found it to be a large improvement over the original Nexus 7. Now, that's not to say the original Nexus 7 wasn't bad, but I believe they really outdid themselves for only a price increase of about $29. The display is the first thing I have to talk about. Again, like I said before, you really notice the difference even when watching lower quality videos. This display just always looks great. It's really bright. The resolution makes it great. I'm a huge reader of news articles. I've got tons of stuff I read, and the text is just that much sharper, that much crisper, easier to read, less strain on the eye. So it's just great in that way. Another thing I've really loved about this one is having that 2 gigabytes of RAM really makes multitasking really snappy on here. As I had running before, it says zombie gunship. You can see instantly ready to go. I can just resume the game, get back to blowing up zombies with my 105mm howitzer. Anyway, it's just snappy like that. There's absolutely nothing stopping me here from jumping right back to my Netflix, or if I want to go back to my settings, it's just all the time. That 2 gigabytes made a big difference. The other thing I've really found about this is on this one, I really do get into typing some stuff, believe it or not. The bigger screen, at least for my sized hands, I guess that's true. I can hold this thing in one hand with almost no problem, my fingers wrapping around the edges, but I found on this one, a lot of times if I get an email, even if my computer's right here, I find myself sometimes responding to emails on here because the keyboard really works out great for me in here to be able to type out something really quickly. I have to finish. Now, this one does actually have the swipe built into it because it is Jelly Bean, so I can't always just do this, and which in case, though, I'm making a little bit more of a path since the screen's bigger. Anyway, just saying that the size really makes some things that I wouldn't have done on my devices before, well, I do them on here now. And see, I've got the Kindle app installed on here. I've actually bought a few Kindle books when I was able to pick up my Kindle, which we'll be getting a review on soon. When I was able to pick this up, I started using the Kindle store a little bit, so I actually installed Kindle on here, and I found books to be pretty good to read on here. Not as good as the Kindle. That e-paper, e-ink display is just phenomenal for reading stuff, but I do read books or at least page through them in here, but mostly news articles, as this thing does pictures a lot better. Other than that, it does Facebook, it does Twitter, it does all the normal stuff with no problem there. So again, if I had to say my only complaints about this tablet really would have to be the bezels here on the sides. They are really big. As you can see, not even my thumb can fill them, so you can't say there's spots for your thumb, really. They're just large. They take up a lot of space that the tablet could either be shorter that way, or you could even get a bigger screen in there. All right, as I talked about before on the Nexus 5 kind of went into thing, the camera. Personally, I think cameras on tablets are useless. I just do not find them to be... Well, there's that. Here, let's see if we can get a little... There we go. Now that's getting weird. I can see myself. Cam reception. Anyway, I don't think that cameras on tablets are really... I think people look a little bit goofy, and even being a techie, I think it looks a little bit goofy when you're holding 10-inch tablets, especially something like an iPad and you're recording a graduation or something in the crowd. Not to say it's wrong, I just don't think it's as practical as stuff. And again, this is only a 5-megapixel camera. It does shoot in 1080p. I'll probably record a video or two reviewing other gadgets with it just to try it out, but I don't think I've ever used it. If I go into the gallery on this device, I'm pretty sure you will see nothing but... Well, there's some workout stuff. I guess that brings me to another point here. You can see these are pictures of my running on treadmills and ellipticals, and here's my movies. But one of the things I do love about this tablet, being a 7-inch tablet, is that form factor. I can actually fit this in my normal jeans pockets, which is great. But whenever I go to the gym to run on a treadmill, I actually like to... A lot of them have the little lip there or the little ledge for you to put a book or something on, and this actually fits really well there. It's not too big. It doesn't cover up the display showing your time and your resistance and all that stuff. And with the mobile data built in, I can stream Netflix while I'm running. It's a great little thing. I love to use the Bluetooth built into it. I'm able to have wireless headphones. There's no cables getting into the way, and I love this thing. Throw it in my pocket, go to the gym, no problem. It's not big, it's not bulky, it's small, it's light. Battery lasts for phenomenal amount of time. So it's great for things like that. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up my review for the Nexus 7 2013 edition. It's a great tablet. I absolutely love it. If you're looking to maybe get your first tablet, or as the holiday season's coming up, get a tablet for a friend or family, it's a great tablet. You're going to get a lot for your money. It's going to run great. You're going to be able to watch movies in really high quality and get lots of battery life out of it. And thanks for watching.